Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Kevin Connors again, right back at you with section number 5. You're doing great. I congratulate you for getting this far. You have not given up. It means you must really want to get better. That's a key thing. I told you once that we don't accept everybody in our office, and that is that is one of the factors. I do not accept any people that I don't really believe they really want to get better. Very frustrating working with people that don't want to get better. So you're learning, you're sticking to something, even though you feel like crud maybe, or you can't get out of bed, you feel lousy. I hope this is giving you hope. So whether I ever speak to you or see you, if I can give you hope and you can learn something from this and take this information to your doctor that you have right now, and maybe he or she can really modify what they're doing for you and can help you. I know there's people that are downloaded my books in countries that I can't even pronounce the name of the country. I didn't know existed. That will never come to me. That will never talk with us on the phone. That will never be able to help directly. So we're just pray. We really do. We pray that this can be a blessing. That somebody can be helped by this. This is the legacy that we're trying to leave. I'm not going to be here forever. I want this information to be out there forever, so that people can be helped by it. That's what it's all about. If you do want us to help you specifically, uh, again, most of our patients we never see that in person, especially the chronic condition patients. They don't need to be in our office. So we have a plan that's very affordable. That you speak with myself or Dr. Halderman on the initial consult, and then my partner just takes you through procedures and labs to run to move you to the level that we need to move you to. So there's always hope. Contact our clinic there. Uh, Call our clinic. Set up a consultation. A phone consultation is where we start. So just know that there's always hope. Don't ever give up, okay? So today we're going to get into what I started to touch on last time. How your immune system normally works. So this is rudimentary immunology 101 here. So I'm going to try to not get real deep into this because there's other deeper things with the Th17 and the Treg cells and everything that we're not going to get into real deep. But a normal balance of your immune system really is a balance between two sides. Your Th1 side, and the Th has nothing to do with thyroid, so don't confuse it with the thyroid like a T3, T4 if you've had your thyroid measured. Th has to do with T helper 1 and T helper 2. So it's a part of your immune system. And the Th1 and the Th2 sides really have to do with a conglomeration of chemokines and cytokines, different immune chemicals that make up those two sides. Okay? But they have really two separate functions, though there's some crossover there. So if we can think of it as a cartoon, your Th1 side is your Marine Corps. They're the side that is the killer side. They're not nice. They don't escort prisoners to prisons, so I guess they're not exactly like our Marine Corps. They're like a vicious Marine Corps, you could say. They do one thing and they do it well. They kill things. That's their job. I'm here with a gun and I'm here to kill things. So I'm looking for something to kill. So when the Th1 cytokines are out into the system, all they're looking to do is kill things. And when you kill things, you cause inflammation. So the Th1 side is very inflammatory. The Th2 side is less responsible to kill things, though there's some Th2 cytokines that do that. And a person can be stuck in a Th2 dominance and still have destruction, so don't get me wrong. But the Th2 side primary role is to make antibodies. So if we could put that in a cartoon, let's think of them as the Secret Service or the CIA or the FBI, that they're going to go in after the scene and they're going to look for the bad guy and they're going to mark the bad guy. Maybe you can think of them as putting a fluorescent stripe on the back of the bad guy so that when the Th1 side fires, when the Marine Corps is there, they can see with their night goggles that fluorescent tape and they know exactly who to shoot because it has an antibody attached to it. So the Th1 side are the killer side. They're the side that are going to go in there with machine guns and kill things. The Th2 side is the side that is responsible for making antibodies. So they're going to go and mark things so the Th1 side can kill. So normally there should be a balance. Th1, Th2 balance, but it's always a balance in flux. So it's never perfectly balanced. Normally, it will always be a little blipping here back and forth because you're always exposed to pathogens. So every time you're exposed to a pathogen, you breathe something in or you swallow something in your gut, your Th1 side fires, little blip, kills it, goes back into balance. Fires, little blip, kills it, goes back into balance. Fires, little blip, kills it, goes back into balance. It happens lots of times throughout the day. Always it's happening. That's a healthy immune response. But let's say you're exposed to a strep. You picked your child up at school. There's a whole bunch of kids with strep throat. You're exposed to the strep. So that little blip wasn't enough to kill it. So your body kicked in a whole bunch more Th1 cytokines and a little bit more and a little bit more. So it became a really high blip of a Th1 response. And it finally killed it and brought it back into balance. And you kind of felt like, oh, I wasn't feeling the greatest today, but I feel okay now. I don't know what it was. Maybe you didn't know it was a strep exposure. That's a normal response. But let's say it's a really nasty influenza or something like that, and the Th1 side is hyper-firing for about 24 to 72 hours. It's kicking in all these cytokines, trying to kill it, and it just can't kill it. This is when I feel sick, I got a fever, I feel hot. Do I feel hot? I don't feel good. I got to go home. I'm just going to take it easy, drink some tea, and take some vitamins, and rest for a while. The Th1 side wasn't able to kill it. It gets suppressed, and then the Th2 side fires. So think of it as a cartoon. It's like the CIA says, hey, Marine Corps, get back here. We're going to go in there and do reconnaissance, and we're going to figure out where these terrorists are. We're going to mark them with this fluorescent tape. Then you go back in and kill them. Okay, so the Marine Corps backs off. In goes the Secret Service and FBI and CIA. They're looking for these enemies. They mark it with fluorescent tape, aka antibodies, and then they suppress, and then the Th1 side fires again, sees this influenza virus marked with these fluorescent antibodies, shoots to kill, doesn't take many bullets, wipes it out, and goes back into balance, and you go, oh, I feel so much better today. I think I'm going to go to work. Wow, that was only a 24-hour virus. I feel so much better, and you are back. This is a normal immune response. Normal. This is all normal. So a pathogen was present. Your Th1 side fired to kill it. If the pathogen was virulent enough, and if the Th1 side couldn't kill it, Th2 side fired, made antibodies, and now you have, this is actually good, you have circulating antibodies to that pathogen. So if you're ever exposed to that or a very similar pathogen, you already have circulating antibodies. So as soon as you're exposed to it, it's tagged with the antibody. Now it just takes a little blip to kill it. So that's actually a strong immune system. I have more circulated antibodies to more pathogens. That's what you want. That's the danger of taking antibiotics, So every time I got a little fever, which is AKA a very strong Th1 response, I'm going to go take some antibiotics. Or I'm going to run my kid to get antibiotics because he had a sore throat. You get antibiotics. Antibiotics work if it's a bacteria. And they kill the bacteria. Your child never went through a Th1 hyperfiring Th2 response, never made its own antibodies. So if your child never makes antibodies to that strep, how are they going to be able to fight it next time? They're going to have to go through that same procedure again next time. So if you kind of let them go through a little sickness, then they'll actually build more antibodies, and guess what? Their immune system is stronger. Good idea, huh? Sorry, side note. So back to autoimmune disease. So how does an autoimmune disease fit into all this? Well, an autoimmune disease is when you're firing this Th1, Th2 response, and instead of making antibodies to that pathogen, you start making antibodies to your own cells. Well, wait a second. How is that supposed to happen? That's not supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. But if you're firing this Th1, Th2 response, week after week after week for months, pretty soon the CIA, FBI, Th2 cells are going, dude, I don't know what these Marine Corps are firing against, but we can't find the pathogen. So let's just tag the cells here. So it'll give the brain core something to do. Well, it tags the cells because the pathogen was inside the cell or around the cell. The pathogen wasn't killable, or if it was killable, like a Lyme or like a H. pylori that can hide inside the cells and not be found by the Th2 response, then sooner or later you're going to start making antibodies to the cells near where the antigen was present. And once you do that, you are autoimmune. So as soon as you make antibodies to your own cells, you have an autoimmune disease. Period. That's what it is. That's what an autoimmune disease is. You have made antibodies to your own cells. Not good. So hopefully that, if you go back and listen to it a couple times, will help you understand what an autoimmune disease is. Remember the definition. If you Google it, autoimmune disease, when your body is killing itself. It's idiopathic. Scratch that out. Let's expand that a little bit, okay? It's when your Th1 or your Th2 side of your immune system starts to destroy your own cells because you have antibodies against those cells. Why? Because at one point in time, you had an antigen that was present that fired a Th2, Th1 response, was not killable, either because it isn't alive or because it hid inside the cells, and sooner or later, your immune system started making antibodies against your own tissue. So it goes back to reason. What are the rules? How are we going to fix this? Well, are you autoimmune? Yeah, we know that. What is the antigen? We got to get rid of that because you're going to be constantly trying to kill it. It's not killable? Well, you better get rid of it. So you at least fool your immune system to think that it won the battle. Number three, are you Th1 or Th2 dominant? We got to know that because you can't treat it with Th1 stimulators if you're Th1 dominant or vice versa. And number four, we need to support the other systems that over the course of time have been destroyed or led to this in the first place, like a broken barrier or liver pathway breakdown that we discussed earlier. So I didn't do such a good job of keeping this video short. I'm sorry, but I hope you learned something from it. So again, if you have other questions, check out our website. Call us. We can do a phone consultation. We're here for you. So know that we'll be praying for you. Congratulate you for getting this far. It's a lot of information, but you're getting smarter, I can tell. All right, Dr. Connors, and I'll talk to you next time.